What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Unhinged Talk. As usual, I'm your host, Patrick Hensey, joined today by the man, Sean Petrucci. How we doing, Sean?
Doing well. How you doing?
Can't complain, especially with the interesting topic that we have to talk about today. Kind of feels like something that we talk about in the middle of a random offseason, but here we are. But before we do talk about that, everyone be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications. We're going live before and after every single Yankees game this season, so stay tuned for that content. But today, we have a topic where apparently this past offseason, the Yankees and Angels very, very briefly discussed a potential trade for Aaron Judge. Now, this is reported by Buster Olney of ESPN. According to him, the communication between the Yankees and the Angels regarding a trade for Judge was more of the lightest of flirtations, in quotes, rather than any sort of serious negotiations. It could also serve as a door opener for other names going forward. So this is kind of interesting to me because I know that we kind of talked in the offseason, like very briefly, about like what are the odds the Yankees think about trading Judge or even shopping him. And it seems like they're not completely close to that idea either. Even though like the negotiations with the Angels were the lightest of flirtations, according to Olney. So do you think that this is anything to take note of, or you think the Yankees are just doing like their due diligence?
I don't even think it has anything to do with the Yankees. I think this was just the Angels looking for another star power, like a bat,
Yeah.
and they're looking around the league and say, "Let's give the Yankees a call." And they say, "Okay, what would it take for Aaron Judge?" And then the Yankees say, "I don't know, Mike Trout." I'm like just like throw a name like that out there. Like, yeah, it would take something of that caliber for us to give away Aaron Judge, and the Angels are like, "Okay, thanks. We'll go talk to
Yeah,
somebody else." I
that's
think that's literally
exactly.
all it
Yeah.
was. There's no way there was like a serious sit down conversation like, okay, let's try to work some package. Like, no.
No, yeah.
It's a BS report. Like it's probably true, but don't look into it too much.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, okay, I understand like this probably happens with a lot of teams and a
Yeah.
lot of players though. Like I could imagine just about every offseason, like every single team calls the Angels about Mike Trout. Does that mean that they're necessarily interested in trading him? No, but I'm sure every team does what they need to do in order to just see where the market is. But I think as we move forward, maybe this could be something that becomes more of a reality for the Yankees, especially if they don't plan on extending Judge, which I think is something that's still up in the air depending on how he performs this season. But I mean, let's say hypothetically, right? Because now we're entering a topic where we could have some fun with it in hypothetical terms. But let's say the Angels counter the Yankees and they're like, look, we'll give you Mike Trout for Aaron Judge, but you got to throw in a couple other names. Let's say, hypothetically, Devi Garcia, Clark Schmidt, Jason Dominguez, and one other prospect. Let's say like a Tyler Wade. Would you do it?
Yes.
I'd probably do
100%.
it too.
Because while what this team doesn't need another bat to win a World Series, they need another arm or two in the rotation, like a solidified like ace type of arm. But we're talking about Mike Trout here. I mean, we're talking about the greatest player of our generation and
Yeah.
probably one of the greatest of all times, if not the greatest of all time. So, yes, Aaron Judge is a stud. He's one of the best players in baseball when he's healthy, but he's not Mike Trout level. And what's Jason Dominguez?
Yeah.
We can only hope that he comes even close to Mike Trout. So
I would
why
agree.
would you? So that's three, and you mix Dominguez potential with Schmidt and Devi. Three what ifs with Aaron Judge, who has the injury history and whatnot. Why would you not make that trade?
Yeah, I would definitely
It
have
seems
to
like it should
agree.
be a no brainer.
There's I think there's only one guy on the Yankees right now that wouldn't give up for Mike Trout, and that would be Garrett Cole. That would be the
Pretty much.
only
Pretty much, yeah.
untouchable guy. Besides that, everyone's on the table. Just because every other guy's kind of replaceable, I think Garrett Cole's the only guy right now that's not replaceable. But I mean, I I'm very curious at this point because now I want to know more information, right? One, why is this report just coming out now? Um, Two, also like were there any other teams that were discussed with Aaron Judge about, right? Like I want to know if this was just an Angels thing because if it was just an Angels thing, that leads me to believe that the Angels were the ones to reach out to the Yankees about Aaron Judge, right? And if other teams were kind of involved in discussions for Aaron Judge as well, that means that the Yankees might have been shopping him a little bit this offseason, right?
I don't think the Yankees were shopping him. I think it's one of those things where you can call us, but you're gonna have to like make us fall off our chairs with an
Yeah,
offer. And then at that point, then they'll consider it. Like I don't think they're calling these teams first and saying like, "Oh, what would you give us for Aaron Judge?" It's completely the other way around.
yeah, no, that's probably the case. I mean, this is just something that's so random. Like, eh, I know I started off by saying this, but isn't this something that we feel like we'd hear in like the middle of like a random day in January, not in the middle of April?
Yeah, but I'm not surprised that it came out now, and I don't know if it was planned to have this. Like, I don't know if it was like a thing, but they're like, "Oh, it's like it's not worth reporting. Like, no one's
Yeah,
gonna believe that." But yes, it's April, but the Yankees are sub 500. Like, maybe it's like, "Oh, let me throw this report out there," and it's like, what if the Yankees keep struggling?
that's what I was thinking. I mean, it could be like a leak from within the organization. Maybe like, let's send a wake up call to this team. Be like, yeah, like a lot of people are talking about we need a major shakeup in the clubhouse. Well, this offseason, we were discussing maybe having a major shakeup and trading like our team captain. So that could be the only thing in my mind that would process like why something like this would come out now. Because it's just not the timing where we would expect just an anonymous source report like this. You know what I mean?
Even that sounds ridiculous. Like the Yankees leaking, like whatever. Like it's just like
No, I
this is like a
know.
head. This is just so weird because it's not something that's ever gonna happen. Like I don't think the Yankees will ever trade Aaron Judge.
Do you think he's a Yankee for life, though? Like, do you think once he becomes a free agent, does he get extended or does he go
Well, you know
elsewhere?
what? That's where it becomes interesting because even though I just said like they're not going to trade him, if an extension is still a question mark, right?
Yeah,
To be fair, so if an extension is a question mark, then that means a trade has to be a little possible because they're not just going to let him walk away. Let's be
they
real.
might. No, they will.
I
If
don't
they're in
think so.
contention, they have to. They have to.
Okay, so you're saying like if they're contending in his contract year, he's still not extended, they're not going
Yeah,
to trade him.
yeah, they won't.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. That's fair. But I would say if they're contending and like they'll probably extend him if they didn't already, if he's like healthy and they're contending.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then I think the extension is going to happen. So I don't think there's a scenario where he walks away.
So he's a Yankee for life, is what you're saying.
Either he's a Yankee for life or he's traded. I don't think he's ever going to be just
And I don't
signed
see a
somewhere
trade
else.
happening. So yeah,
Exactly.
therefore, I
So
think we see
Yankee
him
for
Yankee
life
for life.
probably, as long as he stays healthy.
Listen, I know that this is such like a bogus report, whatever. It's still fun to kind of think about because
Yeah,
any
hypotheticals.
scenario, any scenario that would involve bringing Mike Trout to the Bronx makes me happy. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Like
and I don't
we
think I don't think Mike Trout was ever going to be on the table. It was one of those things where the Angels, oh, what do you want, Mike Trout, and then you just hear like they just hang up.
listen, if I'm the Angels though, and I have to give up Mike Trout and get back like Judge, Schmidt, Devi, Dominguez, and one other guy, I'm probably doing it. I'm just saying
You'd
because
think.
they're better. They're better with all those guys than just Trout. Clearly, they haven't been able to pull off anything with Trout. I don't know.
I mean, that's where it gets interesting because I mean, it sounds so crazy, but like you said, when's the last time the Angels were won anything?
But that's
They're
exactly what
just
I'm
wasting
saying.
like this guy's career. So I mean, yes, they're pretty good this season, but they're not going anywhere without the pitching. They have no
No, I
pitching.
know. I know. And if you
It's
get two pitching
interesting.
prospects and Schmidt and Devi, maybe you pull the
This
trigger.
does
I
feel
don't
like an
know.
off-season video. It's just one of those like you
No, it
just
does. No,
talk
it
for
really
10
does.
minutes about some bogus report. It's fun.
Listen, everyone in the comments, the Yankees did just take 3 out of 4 from the Indians. They are on a good progression so far this
They're
season.
not trading
This is
Aaron
just
Judge. I'll just
this
make
is the
that clear.
topic to talk about. Yeah, they're not trading Aaron Judge anytime soon.
No,
Like, don't
no,
don't get nervous.
no.
Don't get your hopes up if you're an Aaron Judge hater
Yeah.
because it's not happening anytime soon. But on that note, that is going to wrap things up for us today. I appreciate everyone for stopping by. Even though we are talking about some bogus trade rumors in the middle of April, that's fine. Everyone, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Like I always say, we're going live before and after every single Yankees game this season, right, Sean? Every single
Every
one.
single one. Every single
Even
one.
on the off days. Even on the off days. But you guys know the deal. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay safe. Peace.